Thanks for joining us on this new compact version of Does It Resonate With You, where we take a whole show from each week and cut it into smaller and more digestible chunks so that you can listen on the go or listen to them all in a row, whatever works for you. We really want you to find your own truth while we discover and discuss ours. And while we're at it, could we encourage you to reach down and hit that subscribe button? Thanks so much. We'll see you on the other side. Hello and welcome to Does It Resonate With You? Today we're going to do tarot time. We have chosen this new format so that we've separated tarot time from the regular show, and we either do one or two pieces of the regular show, whether maybe if we have a guest, it'll be, like a 45-minute piece, but we had a lot of success with that last week. It was really cool. I'm loving this new format. So we're loving the idea that we can take tarot time and move it all into one, move it into one piece so that it'll make it easier for you to connect with it. At some point, we will figure out how to chop it off the end of the videos, or maybe we'll just make new ones. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see how that goes. But eventually, what we would love is to wind up with you having the ability to check out each video and get through the whole tarot deck and begin to really start to connect with the framework of tarot in a way that really demonstrates to you how powerful a tool that it can actually be. Because the cards are great, the card meanings are great, but it's when you start figuring out how to sew them together through that framework, that's when you can really take, just a blah reading into something really powerful and transformative. So what have you got for us today, John? Wait. Since you're here, if you wouldn't mind, pop down and hit that subscribe button and maybe click the like button. We're getting really close to 100 subscribers and we'd really love to get there. We cannot do it without you. So we'd really appreciate if you just went ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Yep. We'll just wait.
Yeah, right.
Come on.
That's fantastic. Okay,
all right.
So what have we got? What have we got this week?
2 cards today. First card that we're doing is the King of Swords. So I'm showing you from the Light Seers Tarot deck by Chris Ann. Here he is. Got some birds and a bat and an owl and the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is the sword suit is the intellect, and the king in every suit is very much the I got the rules right here kind of a person. So you've got Mr. Rules, and the mantra for this card is I make intelligent and wise decisions about my future. So we're talking lots of logic, lots of thinking, lots of rules, but in a good way. So the words that surround this card are going to be logic, the rule of law, clear thinking. I call this card the spreadsheet guy card. So anyone who is a rule follower or likes spreadsheets or logic, right? So I think this is another card that's really going to resonate with you, Angie. This is the spreadsheet guy card. Another thing to think about, what does the King of Swords represent? Impartial clarity, like really just being able to look at something like, here's what's going on, right? Here's what's going on. So one of the nuances of this card is, since it's very much a problem-solving card or a problem-solving person, but the problems are not like, how big do I make the deck? The problems are, how do I deal with this person? So these are, the King of Swords is going to help you solve problems with people. And what is that? What is solving problems with people? That's leadership, right? So it's the leadership card. When you see the King of Swords in a reading, you're kind of given a challenge, which is you're going to be able to question what you assume versus what you actually know. So if this card comes up in a reading, one of the things you're going to be able to say or know is like, let's take a look at the situation And let's really question what we assume versus what we know.
Interesting. Because you know how I feel about assuming and how important the state of neutral is, right? Like,
Yeah, right.
like for me, the state of neutral is free from assumption. That's the first
Yep.
thing. Free from assumption, judgment, self-doubt, and fear. And that's how you move best through the world, let
Right.
alone, do a reading for somebody. So this is really interesting because the idea of impartial clarity is so unavailable to so many people. So this could be in a reading, it could be an encouragement to impartial clarity is what
Right.
I'm hearing,
Right.
I think.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
like you need to step back, you need to put your blinders on, you need to look at this, and that's kind of how I roll, right? Like I literally have a list of rules. I actually have that doesn't mean I make lists of things to do, but I have a list of rules.
Mhm.
Like Gibbs.
I was just going to say, it's
Just
like
like
Gibbs. Rule
Gibbs.
number 7.
Yeah, exactly. So, in fact, there are probably some crossovers there, but I love the idea of now what you are showing me, and we have to watch. Oh no, I was thinking it was counting down. I don't know what happened. Like something happened to my brain. I was thinking it was counting down, and we only had 5 minutes left, but it's only been 6 minutes now. So I love what you're showing me is that the card doesn't necessarily just have one perspective. So in other words, this card might represent a person in your life, or it
Yes.
might represent a position you need to take, or it might represent information that you need to have, or it might be a little of all of the above, seeking counsel from a person that you know that is that
Yes.
way.
Especially being a court card. The court cards all have that representation of someone in your life. It could be you, it could be someone you know, it could be someone that you need to talk to, but finding the person with impartial clarity is going to be the solution to a particular problem.
That's amazing. So it's really important that you identify those people in your life, I think.
Right. Who is your go-to King of Swords person? Who is your go-to Queen of Swords person, right?
Oh yeah, that's me.
That's Angie.
But the truth there's truth to that, right? Because there are people that I avoid, well, not really avoid. I have friends I avoid discussing certain things with because I know that they will wind me up and that will get me, that's not where I'm looking to go with whatever this particular situation is. Does that make sense? Like,
yep.
So, like if you are really having a problem with a family member and you want to figure out how to iron it out, you don't want to come to me for that because I'm going to tell you cut them loose because that's my answer.
Right.
Cut them loose.
Yep.
Right. Because that's what works for me. You know, you can only be called a piece of crap for so long before you either believe it or you cut them loose.
Yep.
Right. Like, so I am the cut them loose person. So it's important that you understand where your good advice can come from. And if you can identify friends, family members, practitioners, that's why I think it's important to see more than one reader, more than one energy healer, more than one therapist in the course of your life. Like, I'm not saying you have to go to 5 therapists all in the same week.
No, bad idea there.
Real bad. But I think that sometimes you might start with one or a reader or whatever, a coach, and then they take you as far as they can take you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to be able to recognize that you can move on to the next. So this card could be the answer to a lot of those questions. Whatever, should I move on to a new therapist? Oh, well, maybe.
King of Swords,
you know what I mean?
Right, get some real clarity on that issue. Determine
that's
what you know
amazing.
And what you assume.
So I'm really curious now to hear what the other card is.
Good. Yes. The second card for today is the 9 of Wands. So here's the 9 of Wands. She's kind of got a staff there and has a little bit of a kind of a look to her, right? Which is overcoming obstacles. And
are you just keep pulling me out of the deck, or what's going on here? No, I'm just.
So let me state the mantra for this card. The mantra for this card is I push beyond my own perceived limitations and I remain open and trusting as I do. So it's pushing beyond your limitations, but also not going crazy with it because you're going to remain open as you do.
Okay, so I love this is really interesting. So and now I know why I was really interested to hear what this card was. I mentioned on the last episode, which was an amazing episode, by the way. Go back and watch it. We talked to Nora Dawson about Oregon and how that works. But I'm in a new mastermind. I'm trying a new. It's not really new because it's with it's with somebody I've worked with before. Anyway, I'm doing a new challenge, and one of the ideas is, all the good challenges for how to create a entrepreneur, how to become an entrepreneur, they start with what are your limiting beliefs.
Right.
Right. And so for me to see what they were already today, and now you are sitting here telling me, because I feel like this information is for me, just like it's for everyone else.
Yep.
That now you need to push beyond them. Now you know what they are, so now you need to push beyond them. That's amazing.
Yes.
So, like, you literally, folks, can't make this up. You just can't.
It's the right message at the right time.
Let
me say a little bit more.
Go ahead.
Okay, so just a couple more items on here. This card is sometimes known as the challenging card. You're being challenged, but the challenge is this: don't give up now. You're almost there. And what I like to see this card at is it's kind of like you're at a point where you have to decide, or the challenge or the question is this: do you push through at any cost, or do you give yourself the grace and flexibility to take another path? That topic comes up in entrepreneurship all the time, right? Something's not quite working. Do you push through and make it work, or do you realize I'm going to give myself some grace and we're going to take a little pivot here?
So literally, I mean, think about what I told you I figured out today.
Yep.
Which was that, and I'll just tell you on air here. I figured out that I need to work with the people that work with people. Right? I'm not really the greatest for people who are brand new.
Right.
I need
no beginners.
I connect to the energy of the people who are creating things to work with those beginners, and I help them navigate and align and visualize and surrender to the process in a way that every time I do it, they say, "Oh my God, you've shown me something that I couldn't see." Like, it happens all the time. So I have literally gone through each of these two cards in the last 2 days.
Cool.
You can't make this stuff up. You just can't make this stuff up. So not only did you serve a lesson for Tarot, and this is part of Tarot time, right? Is that you have to pay attention. You pay attention and you listen to what you're hearing. And now all of a sudden, you didn't just give people an idea of how these work. You've given me validation, and I would bet that anybody, maybe not all people that are listening, but there are people that are listening out there that are going to say, "Oh, wow."
Right. That resonates with me.
That resonates with me. I have been focusing really hard on getting those beginner people to come to me. And so what you just said, do you push through no matter the cost, or do you allow yourself the grace to pivot? Well, I'm here to tell you, I'm going to allow myself the grace to pivot.
Yep.
So, and it won't really change anything. It's just a tactic, right? Right. It's just who I have in my mind that I want to work with, and how I present that information. John, I cannot tell you how grateful I am that we have put this together for people, and how grateful that I am to have encountered you, that you have so much of this information about the tarot that I just don't have. And so to have found somebody to have this show with that complements me in the way that you do, it's a rare and unique opportunity that I'm telling you I am so grateful for. So I'm grateful for the listeners. you're so very welcome. It is my honor, my pleasure. So I really, really hope that that translates in our conversations. And I
Mhm.
actually have heard from people that it does.
Yeah.
I hope that it translates to the listeners and that we're teaching them and helping them learn and figure things out for themselves, because that's really important to me. So sadly, now I just went on a rant and I pushed us, practically over time a little bit because we have to roll. But thank you all so much for joining us for Tarot Time. Thank you, John, for doing this for us. And
You're
we
welcome.
promise, we're going to make you a promise that we're going to figure out a way somehow to either catch you up or start these new, start over with the deck. We're going to do something so that you can really make it easy for you to come back and listen to these videos for the tarot, just to be able to get that.
Yep.
And while you're at it, you can sign up for our email list on our website, doesitresonatewithyou.com, and you can get that the tarot planner that we made.
Yes.
So
Yep. We'll have to highlight that next week as well.
yeah, well, yep. So we'll try to remember to drop a comment, drop a link in the comments.
Awesome.
Anyway, thank you so much. It's been amazing.
It has.
I mean, seriously amazing. Thank you, folks, for listening. And if you haven't yet, please reach down and hit that subscribe button. And if you could, just a little like would be okay too. We'd appreciate
We'll
that.
take it all.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We will, talk later.